In 500 feet, turn left onto East 165th Street. It was the all-too-common sound of a GPS giving instructions. When you're on the go as much as Lexie Hull is, you rely on the assistance of a GPS. On this day, October 29, 2024, Hull was in New York City for a quick stop to go to Game 4 of the World Series at Yankee Stadium. After the Yankees trounced the Dodgers 11-4 to win their first game of the series, Hull was back on the road again as she prepared to announce her plans for playing this off-season and wait to hear who her new coach would be. Now, we know that Hull is playing for Unrivaled, as she was the 29th announcement for the new 3-on-3 league that will be playing in Miami beginning in January, but at the time, Hull was coming off back-to-back years playing for Athletes Unlimited. But at the time, a day before, Hull was non-committal about where she would be playing, offering a TBD and saying she was still figuring it out when I asked her about it. But the majority of our discussion was looking backward, not forward, as Hull enjoyed a second-half breakout in 2024, helping the Indiana Fever clinch their first playoff berth since 2016. While Hull was on her way to the World Series, she squeezed in some time to chat with me about the 2024 season, the Olympic break, coming off of the bench to start the season, her makeup brand, and yes, Caitlin Clark. Michael Waterloo, thanks for taking some time to chat today, Lexie, especially after a long season with the Olympic break. How's your off-season been so far? Lexie Hull, it's been great. I was expecting the off-season to start and be able to chill and relax, but it's been busier than expected. It's been great to take a step back from basketball but keep myself busy still. MW, it was an interesting season for you. It started with the Fever shuffling their rotations and lineups. It wasn't until July that you started playing 20 minutes per night consistently. What was the adjustment like for you early on after starting the majority of the 2023 season? LH, honestly, it was difficult. Everyone on the team wants to play and contribute and feel like they have a role. It took me a second to realize that it's a process and that my time will come. It's basketball, so roles change, and I was making sure that I was putting the work in during the first couple of months when I didn't see the floor as much as I hoped I would, but I was excited for the second half of the season. MW, I wrote an article during the Olympic break about each team's second half key. Not just a player, but an overall key. For Indiana, it was your play down the stretch. During that month-long break for the Olympics, were you in the gym, or did you take space from the game? What did you do to come out the way you did in the second half? LH, that break was great. We got a week and a half, 2 weeks off. I went to Mexico with some teammates and then went home to spend time with my family. I headed back to Indiana for the rest of the month, and our coaches really pushed us and got us in the gym. It was nice because we worked on team building for the first few minutes of practice. We gelled, got to know each other, and enjoyed it. It definitely helped us prepare for the second half of the season. MW, what kind of team building? I think of Phoenix during the preseason and Chicago recently, both holding talent shows with their players. Was that what the Fever did, too? LH, laughs, no talent shows. I did see Phoenix's, though, and it was great. All of ours were 10 minutes before practice with different games. We played wiffle ball games, pickleball, and it was great seeing that competitiveness. You have a bunch of competitive people taking part in an activity outside of basketball, so you know that it goes up a different notch. MW, speaking of competitiveness, let's switch back to hoops and talk about your breakout game for a lot of people against Seattle. You had a +17 rating, the third highest mark of your career at that point, with 22 points and 6 of 7 from downtown. Was that a confidence booster for you? And how did it feel to see the outpouring from fans? LH, I'm grateful for that and for that support. It's hard in a career like this with the ups and downs and wondering who is out there and who has your back. Having that game and people talking positively means a lot. My sister and grandma were there, and it meant a lot to me to have that kind of performance with them there. It was a special moment of the season. MW, when you have that kind of game, as a competitor at the highest level, do you know that it's going to be one of those nights before the game or during it? LH, going into it, no. But when that fifth three goes down, it feels like everything I'm shooting is going in. And really, everyone talks about me in that game, but everyone hit a lot of shots. The fans were into it, and we all were able to feed off of positive energy and grew from there. When you're feeling it and knowing your shots are falling, you build off of it. MW, let's talk about the threes. Lexie, you shot 60.4% from behind the arc in the last 14 games of the season. Was it something with the offense, your role changing, or just feeling confident? LH, honestly, it's being able to play with more freedom.